What's up, guys? It's Skippy Skip here, and I'm back with another, I don't know, talking about something here. Yeah, and today I thought I'd talk about should the entire Call of Duty franchise just straight up be rebooted? I mean, like, seriously. I think that it might actually be a good idea, assuming that if Modern Warfare, the 2019 Call of Duty game, plays out with this reboot, that actually might be a good idea if the entire franchise of Call of Duty just takes up a straight, like, just straight up just takes a reboot. Because that might do it better than just going on with some insane things going on. All right? So, a lot of you probably already heard, especially if I just said it. That's right, Modern Warfare is a reboot of the Modern Warfare trilogy. I'm not sure if they're planning on making a new trilogy or how exactly they're going about this, but Modern Warfare has nothing to do with old Modern Warfare. And honestly, Modern Warfare trilogy is not even old. Okay, maybe it's not that old, but I mean, it's over, at least the beginning of it started over a decade ago, but then whatever. So, I'm going to just kind of, talk about why I think it should and perhaps the advantages of how restarting Call of Duty like as a whole will do it good. So let's kind of start off with I'd say let's look at Black Ops. Okay, taking a look at Black Ops here, okay? It had a really good first game. Awesome stuff, where we had, like what was it? Reznov, he was an illusion for most of the game and everything. You're part of like you're one of the members of the Black Ops and everything. It was a fun game, okay, whatever, fun story. And then they came out with a second game that was totally better. Like, I mean, way better than the second game. It was kind of like an RPG, choose your own, like kind of like you write the story a bit, little hints of that, and like every mission after the third mission, I think you could start, making choices or doing or not doing some things in the game, and they kind of gave it unique endings, unique playthroughs, and stuff like that. And also brought with it some of the greatest zombies ever. And then Black Ops 3 came along, and that just kind of turned into a mess. All right, I'm gonna say that the game itself, as just the campaign, was terrible. It was a mess. It was bad. I kind of like how the Act Man summed up the story of it, where it's like train go boom. Takes a quote from the second mission. He also says that it shows that Treyarch didn't know where exactly to take the story from there. And then with Black Ops 4, it kind of shows that it kind of shows that maybe Treyarch really has no idea where to go with storytelling anymore, especially if they claim that they could not throw in a campaign along with Black Ops 4. Instead, they're just going to throw in the battle royale in replace of it because they want to go with that instead. It's kind of showing that that the Black Ops series specifically is kind of falling under, and I'm not really looking forward to Black Ops 5, which is what I hear has been confirmed for Call of Duty 2020. I'm really not looking forward to that. I honestly feel like we just need a break from the Black Ops to begin with. But if they do a reboot, I might be a little bit more accepting of a Black Ops game for 2020 rather than Treyarch. Just why don't they just do something else besides? It wasn't supposed to be Treyarch's year for 2020. It was supposed to be Sledgehammer's year. Because Treyarch just released a game back in 2018, and they're supposed to wait 3 years after the release of the game to release a new game. So I think it would do it good. Sledgehammer. And right now, Sledgehammer doesn't really have much. There's really um, only two running series right now, or two series of Call of Duty games that are running, which is the Modern Warfare and the Black Ops series. They're the only ones with like actual sequels and everything. You can kind of say that Black Ops did start with World at War because it did use Reznov and also continued off of the zombies. You can kind of, I guess you can kind of say that. Some people thought, now, me personally, I don't agree with the majority of people, but some people thought that Call of Duty Ghosts wasn't good. The multiplayer, I hear some stuff about the story. There was a couple of dull moments in the story, but I don't think it was bad at all. Sure, I want a conclusion. Like, I want a second Call of Duty Ghost because I want to know where the story goes after, everything that happened in the game. But we never got that conclusion yet. And it's been like almost 7 years, maybe about 7 years by the time I'm doing this recording since Call of Duty Ghosts came out. I really want to know, hey, what happened? But I wouldn't mind them just rebooting Call of Duty Ghosts, or maybe they would keep Call of Duty Ghosts a part of the Call of Duty reboot and just throw in a Ghost number 2. I think that would be cool. Sledgehammer doesn't really have any games that really have sequels at all, except for they did work on. I'm not sure if they worked on all the Modern Warfare games, but I know they worked on at least number 3. They worked on Modern Warfare 3, I know. So, what good would it do out of this? One, it'll kind of do what Infinity Ward wanted to do with Modern Warfare, and they have now an open playground to do whatever they want in the games. I mean, I don't mean like throwing some laser guns into Modern Warfare. No. That would be way too ridiculous. But kind of, like open up a door to like, hey, we can, Black Ops. Hey, you know what? Maybe we'll tell a better story. I mean, like I'm not saying that the story for Black Ops 1 was bad at all. Maybe we'll tell a better Black Ops story than before, expand on some of the stuff that we never did. And maybe we can clear our history of the failure of Black Ops 3 and 4, of how much bad press we got by actually giving it a good story to both of the games, which the only story you got from Black Ops 4 was the specialist HQ and zombies. That's the only story you got. It was ridiculous. It was dumb. I think you could get a little extra story by completing challenges in the blackout mode, but I never got around to that. So, honestly, I think it would do it good if the whole thing restarted. Sure, it'd be kind of sad and feel like a little bit pointless. Just a little bit pointless of, hey, I played all these campaigns through and now it's boring. Or now it's worth nothing. Except for to the old Call of Duty. So, but rebooting it would kind of give a new feel. I mean, after all, Marvel, Stan Lee, I saw an interview they had, and he was asked, why did you restart Marvel? Not like he destroyed it and he rebuilt it up and everything. No, like why did he kind of like, for instance, with Spider-Man, why did he reboot Spider-Man? Well, it was because they just kept on continuing the story, and a lot of the younger generation just wasn't attached to this old Spider-Man because they couldn't really identify with him. And so when they rebooted Spider-Man, then they started selling more copies because the new generation was like, yeah, I can identify with this kid, instead of like, oh, he graduated from high school, he's 20-something. I mean, I never read the originals, but, I'm just summing up what I read and what I'm understanding and just throwing some hypotheticals into the situation. But, like, instead of Spider-Man being like 20-some years old now, and they're still selling copies, but it's horrible, they rebooted it so that the younger generation who are in high school can identify with a high school Spider-Man now, and they can sell more copies of comics. And that's kind of why I think, never mind, I want to skip that point about Captain America. But I think it would do it very much good. With the zombies right now, if any of you guys are into the zombies lore and everything about that, it honestly is so confusing. Now, I mean, you're throwing in multiple dimensions. I mean, right now I feel like Treyarch is just trying to throw everything they can that's relevant in the world or was relevant in the world and just throw it to zombies. And like, it's like, oh, you know what? This doesn't fit in with this storyline, so let's go throw into another dimension that ties in with this other storyline. I mean, that's how, what was it? Shadows of Evil from the the default map from Black Ops 3 Zombies. That's how that kind of went down. It was an alternative universe that somehow connected in. I guess if you did all the challenges or whatever, then what's his name? The German guy, Rick Toffin, he would show up through a portal or steal the thing that you just got from the Shadow Man or someone and run away to back to his dimension or whatever. It was really confusing. And like, some of the Call of Duty zombie maps right now from Black Ops 4. Honestly, Black Ops 4 has the worst Treyarch zombies I have ever seen in my life. It was so bad. It's so bad. I'd rather go play World at War zombies than Black Ops 4 zombies. It's that bad. I haven't even touched Call of Duty zombies since, like, I think a week or two after they released this one map. It was like a dinner party gone wrong or something like that. Night of the Dead, I think it was called. It was really bad. Actually, no, I played it after that, but only once. It was to do with like an Ancient Evil thing. I think it was literally called Ancient Evil. But it was a really bad map. It was bad. So doing, a reset to Call of Duty as a whole might do it good. Maybe keep, some of the stuff that never did get a sequel, but also never really brought any characters into the campaign or anything. Maybe keep those games around, saying these are still canon for our current Call of Duty era. And we're going to make sequels off of these, because I really want to see a Ghost 2 or Advanced Warfare 2. Those, honestly, were some good games, I thought. Me personally, the best campaign I've ever played came from Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I mean, the best Call of Duty campaign. I don't mean Modern Warfare, sorry. I mean Advanced Warfare. The 2014 Call of Duty game, that was like, I thought, oh my word, my mind is blown. Like, I love the idea of exosuits, exoskeletons. I loved it. But then, the multiplayer was really bad, I thought, because I didn't like all this advanced movement, people jumping around and everything like crazy people. And then I also didn't like the exo-zombies, because I really did not like the idea of a zombie who could potentially become a worse threat than any other zombies ever. Especially when they're all crazy. I mean, I guess for, gameplay purposes, it's kind of cool, kind of cool gimmick to give a zombie an exosuit and some of the zombies with special attacks or whatever. But, rebooting Black Ops at least would be great. Maybe redoing Call of Duty 1, 2, 3, and Finest Hour. Hey, does anyone know about Finest Hour? I'm sure a lot of you didn't. That game only came out on the original Xbox, PlayStation 2, and GameCube, Nintendo GameCube. I don't think it was for PC at all. I don't think it was. I can't find any traces of it online for PC, but I kind of want to see that. And then like the United Offensive, that was only for PC. That would be cool to redo also. I mean, just kind of like just feel like, just kind of address the new world a bit better right now. I mean, because that's what Modern Warfare is doing, the reboot. Modern Warfare is addressing the problems that we have today, all right? The problems that, like, hey, we got terrorism going on. Let's go make a game that addresses terrorism. With, like, that'd be kind of cool. And I mean, like, make a Black Ops game where it is a modern day one. No, it's not like a Modern Warfare game, but it might tie in with Modern Warfare. And then you have, like current people, or, you kind of, I don't know, just do something. Do something. But I'm kind of ranting on right now, throwing my ideas out on the table. I don't know, like how much to talk about right now. But I think another good reason why to restart Call of Duty as a whole is because games like Modern Warfare, the original trilogy, those three games, they're not based off of real life events. They're fictional events that happened back in 2016. So if you restart the Modern Warfare series, then you can play around with the near future again. Instead of building off of instead of something that could have happened that didn't happen, you can build off of something that could happen that you can't prove didn't happen until time, catches up with it and says, yeah, it didn't happen. Like with Black Ops 2, about half of the game took place in the year 2025. Okay, maybe more than half of it took place in the year 2025. Right now it's 2019. We're kind of crawling up to 2025, slowly, and soon enough, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 will be outdated. I mean, not because it was during the PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 era, but because the times have caught up to Black Ops 2 that now you're practically just playing an alternative history game at this point, like Modern Warfare trilogy. It's alternative history, you could say. Like maybe Call of Duty could instead do something like that. Is make Call of Duty an alternative history, whether it had to do with something that happened 10 years ago or something 50 years ago, but keep it that boots on the ground kind of feel, where it's kind of modern, or it's, I don't know, or just kind of keep it. I don't know. I'm kind of just going on right now, and you're probably all getting bored, but to call it, to Activision specifically, how about rebooting all of Call of Duty? Just do it. I mean, it will be, like I said, it will be a little bit sad saying, oh man, all those games I played, all the campaigns that I've beaten, and now it feels like the Star Wars lore that what Disney did, but it's not as bad as what Disney did. It's something like that. Just restart. Because honestly, the zombies need to be rebooted. I'm sure we might get better maps again, because I thought Black Ops 3 did superb with their map design, except for Shadows of Evil. That was pretty bad. But I thought they did pretty good with stuff. But the story was so confusing. Black Ops 4 is just adding to the mess. It's like, oh, we're just going to throw in 4 new characters, and I don't care about these 4 new characters. I want to know what happened to our 4 original characters from World at War, who actually weren't the originals. The originals were like 4 random soldiers. Just random ones. I mean, really, they were just random. So, reboot it, because I'd say do it more good than anything else. It would show that I guess it wouldn't show much of anything, except for that you can provide us, or you can perhaps capture a larger audience, like what Marvel did years and years ago, and what they are doing today. Like they restart Marvel every so often, restart the lore and everything, because you're trying to address a new generation. So, this is Skippi Skip signing out and saying, hey Activision, why don't you go ahead and give restarting Call of Duty a try as a whole. Make some more World War II games. Make some more. Or I guess one more thing. Please, if you're not going to restart Call of Duty or restart the Black Ops series, at least, please, for the love of the world, give Black Ops a break. I want something different from Treyarch. World at War was good. Black Ops 2 was good. Black Ops is good. Then Black Ops 2 was good. Black Ops 3 showed that we're kind of running out of ideas, and the game wasn't as good. And I was kind of already, like, when I saw the trailer for Black Ops 3, back when I was in, I think it was 9th grade I was in. I was like watching trailer with some people in my class, and we're all kind of excited, but then I was kind of thinking, Okay, well, it's another Black Ops game. Great, I guess. And then Black Ops 4 is like, okay, this is getting repetitive. And then I heard Black Ops 4 was just even worse when they said no single player campaign. So, so just stop. Just don't do another Black Ops game for at least one game. Just skip a Black Ops game at least once and make something different. Because making something different will be awesome. I mean, maybe you want to tie in with a Black Ops, sure, but don't make it a Black Ops game. Make it something else, please. I'm sick of the Black Ops. I mean, it's a great idea. It was a great few games until 3 when things are going weird. So, thank you guys for listening. Why don't you go ahead and leave a subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell notification so you never miss an upload. Though, whenever I do that, I still miss uploads. And hit that like button. Tell your friends that this is the greatest channel ever for making games and everything. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, y'all. God bless.